Regarding the function and significance of peace accords within the entire process of arriving at a negotiated settlement of an internal conflict, there are various schools of thought. One strategy, which can be best characterized as constitutive, sees the peace agreement's actual content as being crucial to the broader process because it will reflect its good points and bad points, strengths and flaws. A good deal will lead to enduring peace. A poor deal may cause delays, setbacks, or even the end of the peace effort. As a result, that strategy emphasizes the strict standards that an agreement's term must follow, including clarity in text, technological viability, international legitimacy, and a thorough implementation schedule. On November 2nd, 2022, Ethiopian federal government and leaders of the country's northern Tigray region agreed to end 2 years of devastating war. The welcome deal, brokered by the African Union in the South Africa capital Pretoria, was a triumph for Ethiopia. The agreement, titled Agreement for Lasting Peace Through a Permanent Cessation of Hostilities between the government of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF), demonstrates Africa's capability and dependability on each other to resolve problems. Many countries have welcomed the peace agreement. The ambassador of South Sudan to Ethiopia, Dr. James Pitya Morgan, shares this idea. In an exclusive interview with Afronews, Ambassador James Pitya Morgan said that a civil war between African countries is meaningless, and he mentioned that there is no need to go to war unless it is to fight foreign enemies, and Africans should strengthen their unity.
I think the best war we fought was only the war of Adwa. That was the best one. That was the only war that was important for us. But other wars that we fought have never had a meaning among ourselves, whether in South Sudan or in Ethiopia or in other neighboring countries. When we fight to protect ourselves from an invader, that war has a meaning. But when we fight among ourselves, it doesn't carry any meaning.
The ambassador said that the war in the northern part of Ethiopia was meaningless, and he added that we should develop the culture of resolving our disputes through dialogue.
The fighting in the northern part, these are internal wars that need dialogue. It doesn't need killing each other. It needs only dialogue. Dialogue is very important. The fighting in South Sudan is meaningless. It only needs dialogue because it is very destructive. This power struggle among ourselves is meaningless. So we don't need those kind of wars. We need to avoid those wars and replace them by dialogue.
He also emphasized that peace and security are the key factors to speed up the development of Ethiopia and also region's economy, adding that the agreement reached between the federal government and the TPLF group will help us focus on development instead of war.
When we talk of development, we are very happy because development cannot take place when there is a war. Development can only be done when there is peace. Or war brings destruction. Everything. This building, you can build this building for 2 years. Before you finish it, it takes you 2 years to build this building, or even more. But one rocket can destroy this building in 1 second. So it is not good. We need peace. We need peace.
Ambassador James Pitya Morgan underscored that in order to implement Agenda 2063 and transform Africa into the global powerhouse of the future, the guns needs to be silenced and African solution for African problems needs to be implemented.
We have in the African Union Agenda 2020, which was calling for the silencing of the guns in Africa. Very important. Agenda 2030, which is calling for sustainable development of Africa. That is very important. And then we have the most important slogan of African problems needs African solutions. And this is what has happened recently in Pretoria. We are very proud of that.
The ambassador stated that his country, South Sudan, is committed to support Ethiopia to implement the peace agreement.